Good afternoon, Riley. I'm Reid. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm here on behalf of you. I work with the local law office, so I just want to gather some information about yourself and the situation with TBD. Um, Riley, why don't you just tell me a little bit about yourself prior to your professional career, and why don't you just explain briefly getting into that, and then I'll ask some follow-up questions.
Okay, well, I was born on November 20th, 1965. I live on 23 Maple Street, Midlands. I went to Northwestern University, graduated in 1988, and I started working for TBT as soon as I got out of college.
Did you get a journalism degree?
Yes.
Okay. And you had no other professional jobs besides
Right.
TV. Okay.
Correct.
And you said 1988. You started a junior copywriter.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then did you like that?
Yeah, I was only the junior copy editor for a little bit, and then in December 1988, I was promoted to copy editor, and then 2 years later, 1990, I was promoted to staff writer, and then 7 years after that, I got promoted to senior staff writer.
So pretty gradual,
Yeah.
Incline
I
at
had
that
to
company.
work my way up. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your final position? Tell me before 2013, what was TBD Inc. like?
Before Shaw took over, TBD was, it was normal. It was relaxed. Everyone worked in the office. There's about 33 writers on staff. I'm a culture writer, so I write about, music,
Yeah.
lifestyle, all that type of stuff. I started getting paid a lot as soon as I got promoted to senior staff writer. About $200,000 was my max salary.
Oh wow, wow, it's a pretty profitable career. You said something about Shaw. Is he a new owner? Was he the current owner?
Yeah, he was a new person who took over, and I believe he bought it in 2013, and he fully was in charge in 2014.
Do you remember the name of the previous owner?
I do not.
No. Okay. So tell me a little bit of. So Shaw took over 2013. New policies probably went in. A couple months after. So maybe the new year.
Mhm.
So tell me a little bit about. Did he change anything? Was there any new policies?
Well, I mean, we went from paper print and online to fully online. So we had to do a lot of, me at least, had to start doing a lot more articles. I was doing one per week at first, and then all of a sudden I was doing like three, a crap ton a week. Like it was pretty demanding. Not that I couldn't handle it, but I mean, they kept saying that my articles weren't like towards millennials. That
Okay.
that's kind of gave me a hint that they had something against me. As soon as Shaw took over, he fired pretty much half the staff. We went from 33 writers on staff to 19, and all the people that were, over the age of 25, 30 were fired.
Over the age of 25 and 30.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what the minimum age was who got fired, but
Okay.
all the older staff got let go, except for me at first originally.
Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. You said one article per week. Was that under Shaw, or was that the old regime?
That was the old regime, yeah.
And so it was more of like a deep dive piece. You would write it was a meaningful article, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so you kind of, this whole transition into more pieces. What kind of pieces were those?
So after Shaw, how did it change?
Yeah.
Well, he wanted us to write for younger writers, so we would talk more about pop culture, like what was Drake doing, what was Taylor Swift doing, stuff that wasn't, a little silly and sophomore, you know what I mean. I would still put the time and effort into my pieces, but I feel like a lot of the articles kind of lost what's the word for its worth.
Okay, so you were building more quantity as opposed to quality in the articles. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's kind of interesting because you had won a lot of awards while your time at TBD, and so that's a sudden change.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think why maybe he changed that? Was the industry dying out?
He just thought that the younger generation, I guess, was Even though, I mean, younger people do write good work. I mean,
Yeah.
look at good work too. So I think his perception on what he had to do was just off.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, from what you're telling me, that sounds something that
makes
could
sense.
happen. So why don't we go into let's talk about the firing. You said you went from maybe 33 staff writers to 19. Did you notice a trend in who was being fired?
Yeah, it was mainly the older people.
Older staff members?
Mhm.
And you said 25 to 30, so it may be like a 35 to 40 range or so, or somewhere in there.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. So he comes in, reduces the staff. It's now more online based, reduces the print base, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So does he have any meetings with you, being the most decorated writer at the TBD Inc.? Does he talk to you about the sudden change at all?
I maybe had seen Shaw like 1 to 5 times while he took over while I was working there. I had probably said hey to him. That's about it. But not. I mean, there was some meetings with the staff members saying how we wanted to write towards more millennials. But I mean, I never really talked to Shaw directly.
Did he ever? What were your interactions like? You said maybe a handful of times. Were they positive interactions, or were you
Neutral?
neutral?
I mean, yeah.
What did he in place a different, like, you have an editor in chief that is someone different?
Um, Tom Perez was the only other person I really, or Austin Perez. I'm sorry, I really ever talked to. Um, I had a couple meetings with him. I guess one particular, I decided I wanted to take initiative and show Shaw that I cared about changing for the company. So I said I was going to take a social media class to learn I guess whatever he wanted needed. But so Austin Perez said that he got excited. He said that the company would reimburse me for that, and he thanked me for taking the initiative. But then, yeah, for instance, like after that, like there was a bunch of workers around in the building, and he says something like, "Hey, look, everybody, Riley's on Facebook now," and kind of joked about, kind of put me on the spot and kind of made fun of me, and I didn't really appreciate that after I just talked to him.
So he was saying that, like, so social media, something like that, you wouldn't belong on that. Okay. And so you think that was age based?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Austin Perez. What is his position at TBD?
He's the editor.
So he's the new editor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did he ever talk to you about pieces that maybe didn't come like up to the standard that Shaw was looking for?
Not really. He didn't really. I guess he didn't really complain about my work. He just keeps saying that we need to write, for the younger generation. He'd keep pressuring me into writing more and more, and just he kept emphasizing that I had to write for the younger population.
Did he ever give credible feedback to your pieces? Or I know you just said that he would say we got to direct articles to the younger generation. Did he ever tell you how to better do that?
I guess not really. I mean, not after when Shaw was there. Not really. I guess no.
Okay. Did you ever break like a company policy, writing policy under the new Shaw ownership?
Mm-mm.
Nope. Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
So I did some research. We have an article on you wrote an article on turntable.
Yes.
Why don't we explain that, like your piece on the turntable?
Well, they're like an online group that kind of learns what a person likes to listen to based on what they select or whatever. And I just wasn't really a fan of that. I thought that you should learn what kind of music you like through friends and experiences and stuff like that. So I wrote an article criticizing the way they do things, and sure they're one of, I guess they're the top advertising company for our TBD, but I mean plenty of people have wrote articles that criticize companies like that before. So.
You shouldn't. A company of that magnitude shouldn't be shy. Shouldn't be.
And Austin Perez approved of it. It got published.
So the editor in chief he read the article that you wrote and didn't say anything about it. Okay, well, that's interesting. Hmm. So that was your only piece that you may have ever, come to, a line of, imaginary line that you shouldn't cross over because you were being critical, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I didn't
Okay.
really see a line crossing, but that's like not how I thought about it. I just thought it was another article.
Okay.
But yeah, that was the only one I guess they could have.
So yeah, just in your mind, you didn't think you did
Mhm.
anything wrong by writing a critical piece. Okay. So finally, let's digress a little bit. Let's talk about your interactions with um, Sawyer Shaw. So you said he made age remarks to you. Can you describe any times, any specific instances about age remarks to you?
Um, I guess it was really like I said, I didn't talk to Shaw that much. It was mainly through like emails and stuff. But when we had a Christmas party on the 23rd December, and we were having a bunch of people there, and then Austin Perez set me aside and told me that the company was going a different way. And I said I was all pissed. I'm like, I'm the senior writer, and he's like, that's a problem. And I looked at him like, what does that mean? And he kind of looked like he was embarrassed and said the wrong thing. And I thought, he meant like senior writer, like it's a age
He
joke.
emphasized the senior part.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
But the ages thing came mostly, I feel like, from both of them. But I mean, like verbally, it came from Austin Perez, I guess.
Was this the Christmas party, in 2015, the couple months after your firing or right before your firing? Okay.
And then we had I think it was it was a different party where we had a bunch of celebrities and stuff that were gonna come, and Shaw canceled the party, said he didn't want to do it, and it was something. I mean, you could tell he just didn't want anything from the previous ownership to be in place. Still, he wanted to kind of totally eradicate that.
So as in your opinion, he wanted to kind of like revitalize the staff because maybe there was too the direction he was taking the company that was too old of writers.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing good. I mean, we had a bunch of people. We had a huge following. So, I mean, I don't know why he wanted to change it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it didn't make much sense to me.
Okay. Yeah. That's strange because it's such a successful company that TBD was and still is. Can you explain any more instances that you might want to explain to me about maybe some age things of other your staff members? Maybe Austin Perez maybe made a comment. Because I just for the notes I have that majority of the staff members over 40 have been terminated. He is now doing online based. He empowered Austin Perez to oversee editor in chief. Yeah, I just from your perspective, I just want to get any lasting notes that you might have.
Well, I was replaced with a teenager.
A teenage. Oh wow. What do you have a name on him?
Landon Green.
Landon Green.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any background information maybe like where you went to school?
Not off the top of my head, but I know that he didn't really have much experience at all for replacing a person who had been doing it since 1988 and had all these awards and was getting paid $200,000 a year. It didn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, that's shocking that as successful as you were, they replaced you with someone with such little experience. Lennon Green, yeah, let's interview that guy. Did you ever interact with Landon Green?
No, I never met him.
You were fired as a staff writer, senior staff writer, and replaced with someone with inferior experience. Okay. All right. Well, if that's the last note, we can definitely conclude this interview, and we can go on forward in the case. I definitely think you have a good situation and a good case on your behalf, and so I'll definitely be looking into this.
Okay.
So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.